Um, if anybody's read like those social tips online and they're like how to improve your dating skills, how to get better with women and all that kind of stuff, like unfortunately if you took those tips literally, you've kind of already ruined your social life. But the good news is that you don't have to do that kind of stuff anymore. You used to do that, right? It was things you used to do. But like if you want to know like how do I improve my social skills so I can expand and like meet new friends or talk to new people or whatever, and like how do I like gain enough confidence and skills and self-esteem to ask out like if you're a man woman that I'm interested in, or if you're a woman how do I get a guy to notice me when like he doesn't even notice I'm alive. Like I want him to know that I exist and like that I'm interested in him, but I don't want to be the one asking him out because that's really manly. um that's like I don't know. I think it's like one of those tips that they're like, you can just. There's this bitch who used to tell me like, why don't you ask all these people that you're interested in working for, ask them out for coffee or something, and then they can talk about their job and everything. And I'm like, that's when I knew like I couldn't hang out with her anymore. That when she said that, and before that, this other guy who was hired to help people with their career at U of T, he said the same thing except he was showing me pictures of LinkedIn. He's like, oh, you can go through their LinkedIn profile, see what they're actually doing, and if you're interested, you can even ask them, like, you can send them an email, and then ask them about the job and like that you're actually interested in, you're a student and you're looking to get your foot into a career, your foot in the door, so to speak. And then they're like, if you want to do that, you can, and if you're really interested, you can even ask them out for coffee for more details about blah 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 to see if they have any time to like talk to you about their job and stuff like that. It'll be like a mini interview, except more about like, interviewing what people are like in that field, so you're getting interest in that, not so much like that. But I think he was saying that because he says people say that kind of stuff all the time, and most people just go by people that they met on LinkedIn, but it's not even like that's not really how people get ahead in their career or get a job, but that's how people keep in contact. It's like changing business cards. So what LinkedIn is for is like exchanging business cards. And I was like, I was like, but I know that that's what he meant. I know that was what he was telling me, but that's not what Erica said. She actually wanted me to do that because she wanted me to mess up, and I was like, yeah, that's when I knew I couldn't hang out with her anymore. So like that means just like if you are asking somebody out and you don't even know that person for coffee, like if you say it that way, then people are gonna think that you're gonna like you're interested in them sexually. You understand? Like also he was at work and people were filming him and everything, so probably he said that to like get them off his back and stuff. So like since he's getting paid for that, right? It's his job, his career, right? He's getting paid to tell students about how to do things and what to do and stuff like that regarding their career, because they don't really know how to get their foot in the door or like how to go about approaching things, which is why they're in school. But if they record what he actually said, then they would just use that, and then it might affect his own career. I think that's why he said it that way. It's probably not the best way to say it, but that's why he said it. Um, so I think the thing is, if you're like looking to like ask people out, like I saw it all the time on that like social skills and tips and stuff. They're like, you can always talk to strangers. Like if you see them on the street, you see them in the store, you're interested in them, just go talk to them. Just like try to find an excuse to say hi and blah 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 blah. Don't do that. Literally, don't do that. It's called harassment. Well, that's harassment. If you're looking for any excuse to talk to somebody just because you want to, that's called harassment. That's what harassment is. It's illegal. You're gonna go to prison for it. You can't do that if you're like socially savvy and you're like annoying that person, and then you see that person later and they're like, haha, I know you, I was annoying you. I did something to make up for it. And it's like, that's called being cheeky, I think, in English. That's what it means. Except like when you're being cheeky, it takes it like it's done instantaneously. It doesn't take like 2 or 3 weeks for you to, be completely be cheeky or something. But if you're interested in somebody, you see somebody at the store and you want to be friends with them, probably not the best time to talk to that person, right? So how do you know? What do I do to get information on that person? How do I talk to them again? You know what? I think if you seriously are interested and it's never gonna get off your mind, and you're just like, I need to know everything or what I can know about that person, why don't you just approach them, right, and say, hello, can I buy your order for you? And you be then before they ask why are you doing it all, I'd be like, I'm interested in getting to know you, and I was hoping that you would be able to give me your social media or anything so I can get to know you. I mean, most of the time, people who are looking for friends in those kind of settings aren't going to be the best people, but not a lot of people are going to say no to that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will not say no to somebody buying their order, buying their stuff for them, and then asking them, do you think, I don't know, do you have a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, something that I can follow to get to know you a little better? And then if you really like me, like, maybe we can talk and be friends or something. Yeah, if you're doing that, you just approach them, like, you need to give me your social media handle on blah, 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 blah. It's still harassment. But if they're willing to let you pay for their things, then most likely they'll be more receptive to you. Again, even if you pay for their things, they might even say no. So like, you have to understand when you're going about meeting new people, like, you're consenting to put your resources and your energy and time into introducing yourself and getting to meet new people that way, right? If you don't want to do that, right, you don't want to spend any money, any time, you think people are entitled to just talk to you and be friends with you, you're not going to get anywhere, socially speaking. No one's going to want to be friends with you. Unless you already know each other through a friend of a friend, or like a family member or something, or maybe through work. Those aren't really people, like, most of the time they're going to be obligated or forced to. Hopefully it's obligated to hang out with you, not forced to, because that would be coercion, right? But at the same time, I think the best thing to do, like, if you're at a store, like, if you, let's say you're at Starbucks and you're a guy and you see a really cute girl, or you're a girl and you see a really cute guy, I'd say don't buy his order, add to his order if you're a girl. So if you see him pick up like a regular coffee or something, like, maybe add to his order, can you add a muffin to his order or something, like, can you get him a donut, I'll pay for it, you can put it on my order, but can you give it to that guy? And then you can do that, and then be like, oh, I thought you need a little pick-me-up or something, like, something cute like that. Or if you're a guy, you should just actually buy her order for her. Yeah. Even if it's like an order for all her friends, and that way it's like a really easy and convenient way to impress her and her friends all at once. And the first impression is really great. They're gonna be like, oh my god, he's so nice, he bought all that stuff for us. Wonder what he wants. That kind of stuff. Yeah, please don't, like, I mean, when you read, the reason why they said that is because they want to know if you can read. If you can't read that, then that means you can't really read, and you're really bad with body language and picking up social cues, just in general. And women are typically a little better at this than men, only because of the way they go about doing things. Right? Like, men typically go about doing things directly, whereas women kind of go about it socially. Like, when boys get bullied, they get beat up a lot, right? Like, physically, you just beat the shit out of that guy. When women get bullied, she doesn't have any friends. Literally, she has like a long list of acquaintances and some boyfriends here and there, but no friends. That's how you know she's getting bullied. Sometimes they deserve it, sometimes they don't. It's hard to tell unless you actually get to know that person, right? I mean, hopefully she did something to deserve it. Otherwise, if she didn't, then that means you're living in a really shitty area. You should get the fuck out. That's what I would say. What else? Oh, are you like looking to like broaden your social circle, or perhaps even like get to know new people? Like, if you know two different groups of people, let's say, like, try to get them to be introduced to each other. Kind of like, let's say you know some people through work, and then you know some people from school, but you're friends with them, and if you actually want to see if like you can make new circle of friends, or maybe like see if you're good at, like, you know, being in that social situation where like you know, that kind of situation where you just kind of get to meet new people or see how things go, right? If you can't tell how things are going, and you don't know how to make like amends or whatever, or repair the relationship, you should probably introduce the two together. I think that's good. I think like maybe one from that circle and then another, like a few from the other circle, and you kind of like introduce each other and be like, hey, we all wanted to do the same thing. How about we all go together and then maybe we can make friends that way. And then if that goes well, then yeah, you have succeeded socially. And you're socially savvy enough for you to go to a bar or a club and even introduce yourself. You can be like, oh, hey, I just hit up this club to try to see what the area and the people here are like, and I really like the music here. What's your name? If they know to you, if reject you, you just go to another person and be like, say the same thing and be like, what's your name? That's how I would go about it. I know it sounds childish, but like I don't know how else you're supposed to introduce yourself to new people in that social setting. Like bars are kind of an iffy thing. It depends on the bar and the crowd. But like at clubs and stuff, everyone's open to meeting new people. That's why they have a really bad rep, because there's like really different types of people who like doing that kind of stuff, and most of the people who are doing that is because they need to meet new people, right? And sometimes if you're like a certain type of person, or if you look a certain way, then like you're kind of inviting some bad stuff to happen to you, like if you don't know what that is. So they're already expecting you to know all that kind of stuff before you go into clubs and stuff. So that's why you can kind of be like, oh, they need to meet new people because they like doing this kind of stuff to new people, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, they don't really care, right? Those kind of people, like, maybe stay away from it if you're not really used to that kind of stuff, right? Like, you can still talk to them and be like, oh, you know what, I don't really feel comfortable about going to your house because I just met you. Maybe if you can like talk to each other and we're a lot more friendly, like in a few weeks or so, then yeah, I wouldn't mind. That kind of stuff. And if they're not really up for that, then they'll tell you. You're like, yeah, no, not really. No thanks. And then they'll be like, okay, bye. And then you can be like, bye. That's it. And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I met that guy before, yeah. So like, you can tell people that way. I know on the media and like on TV shows they make it sound like that's what cops do, but that's not what the police do. Like if you meet somebody who does that, that's not a police officer. Also, the police here have no friends. It's so funny. Have you seen the South Park episode You Have Zero Friends? Yeah. It's funny. But yeah, I mean, also make sure before you even put your full self out there, like get some like interest and skill set into your portfolio. Okay, just be like, hey, I like these shows and this music, and this is what I know about it. I can talk about it all the time, and these are things I like. I don't like these are things I know. Like I don't know, I used to play hockey all the time, so I know so much about hockey equipment, and also I like going backpacking and dirtbag riding and all that kind of stuff, right? That kind of stuff you can talk about. Yeah, so if you don't have any interests and your life is just like, yeah, I went to school and I went to like family trips and like birthday parties and the neighborhood kids, and sometimes my friends that I knew since like elementary school, because I lived in the same town for like the past entire life. Yeah, we all hang out together, and that's how we were going by doing things. And I'm like, yeah, those are called losers. People call those types of people losers, okay? You actually want to get out there and meet new people and do new things and all that kind of stuff. That's very, very, like, that's actually necessary for you to meet new people and make new friends. If you don't do that, then you're expecting other people to do that for you, which is kind of your personality type. It's harder to get along with people like that because it's like you're taking care of a baby. It's like, oh, I have to get to know all that people for you and then introduce them, make sure you're all getting along. Nightmare. Alright, I mean, I personally stay away from people like that because it gives me a headache. And it's a nightmare for me. I'm like, I prefer hanging out with people who are like me, right? Where we all like doing new things and we all like meeting new people. And then if things go well, we can introduce them to each other. Right? And then like sometimes I have stuff I have to do in my life because unfortunately like socioeconomic factors and everything affects me too. And I want like my friends to be mature enough to be able to understand that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. Like I wouldn't, like if I was a close friend and then that person was going through a divorce, I wouldn't really expect them to be there for me all the time if I was going through something. It's kind of like, what are you expecting that person to do for you? Like if they're already going through something, it's just kind of like, okay. I feel like that's just asking for a disaster, right? But that's what that is. How to also succeed socially, just please put your prejudices and discriminatory behavior at the door. Like, think of it as a coat check or something. Like, if you want to meet new people, unfortunately, you're gonna meet people that you have stereotypes about, and everybody has certain stereotypes to a certain extent. And maybe it's just like, oh yeah, I'd be okay with being friends with this type of people, but not this type of people. I'd be okay with like dating this type of people, but not dating this type of people. You're gonna have to like get rid of all of that. Otherwise, you're never gonna meet new people. Yeah, because everybody knows somebody that's like that or is friends with somebody who's like that, and they don't really want to like pressure you or try to convince you into accepting them, because that's like a headache, you know. Yeah. Also, like, think about it. Like, what kind of things are we gonna put up with and you're not gonna put up with, right? Like, you got that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, don't like ask people out for coffee unless you're sexually interested in them, and you're not really expecting that relationship to get that far. That's what that means. This is the first time I'm meeting you, and you're ordering coffee, and it's like, that's how you kind of break. That's the breakup date. But it's weird for you to go on a breakup date on your first date, even though you just met. Do you know what I mean? That's a breakup date. Like, yeah, you've been seeing this guy for a while, and you guys don't really date. You're not really getting along. You're like, hey, you wanna like come with me? Let's go to Starbucks. Okay. Do you wanna go to Starbucks? Yeah. Okay. And then you can suddenly say like, hey, like things are going on. We might not hear from me for a while. Yeah, just text me if you need anything, I guess. That's a breakup date. But I don't know why people do that as a first date. Bad first date idea, unless you want them to give them a bad first date. Why would you do that? I was like, why would you want to go on a bad first date? So it'll be memorable. Remember, babe? The first date we went on, you wanted to kill me, but then, like, later on, we, like, totally, like, got along after. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, here, it's some stuff that I've learned. I guess a lot of people are wondering, like, how do I meet new people from different backgrounds and all that kind of stuff without, like, offending them or, you know, like, all that kind of stuff. I'm really interested. I think you should learn how to read and like gain some interest in yourself first. Make yourself some sort of like interesting or relatable person, and you can do that. And then, you know, if you really have a hard time with that kind of stuff, like, you know, you could always hire somebody to teach you the things for you. And then you can get involved with businesses and get to know people that way. Some people find that easier, honestly. I don't really find that easier. But that was me. Oh my god. That's all my. Yeah. Don't ever feel offended or like bad about yourself when you get rejected. This doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, people are gonna say no to you all the time. Not everyone has time for you, unfortunately. Even if they really like you, people have careers, families, friends that they already made, and acquaintances and neighbors and all that kind of stuff they have to take care of. And they made that one specific time to be able to go to that club or a bar for that night. And the last thing they want to do is invite you into their life when they don't actually have time for you, not that they don't actually like you. And yeah, some people do lie about that, but it's better to just take their word for it. Honestly. And if you know they're lying, that just means that they're not interested in you, so what's the point? Literally, like, oh, I'm not interested in you at all as a person, from person. They're like, alright, bye. And then you move on to the next person. You're like, with the exact same thing. Hello, are you interested in getting to know me? But not sexually, because I am not comfortable with having sex with strangers, because that's a symptom of mental illness. I'm telling you, I'm healthy and I'm great to be friends with. I know, it's just... I guess there's no real non-sleazy way to say that, you know, but, I mean, you can that way, like, I like you because you are very attractive. I don't know if I'm supposed to go on from there, but it's basically what that is.